My name is Hanson, and I run the Makerspace here at North Education Center. And I use PBL with my students because I have to, and it's important with the Makerspace, hands-on learning. Why do I want to use PBL? I want to use project-based learning because it exposes students to things that they wouldn't otherwise be exposed to when you're instructing, and they're just kind of limited to using like a pen and paper. One particular project I'd like to talk about is one where a student would integrate electricity and sculpture and art in the same thing. It was a small paper mache skull that he's put LEDs in and completed an electric circuit, and he was really proud of it. That's one of the things that went well with this project, and he learned some autonomy. I think that's really important, and he built a lot of his own, what I would call like school confidence. He feels like he owns part of his education now. He's really, every time he comes in our class, which is only once a week right now, he feels really confident, and he has these skills now that he's learned through his project that he wouldn't have otherwise, I feel, been exposed to. What didn't go well is, I feel, this goes well and doesn't go well, is when kids run into problems, they often quit. I feel like that's not fair to say that it didn't go well, because it did go well. He persevered through it. That's, I think, where his confidence was built, is that he was able to solve a problem. That's probably why PBL exists, is to run into those problems and design and engineer your way out of it. So it's hard to say what didn't go well, because it was a very successful project. What challenge do you run into? In a makerspace, there's an infinite amount of possibilities. Problems are getting students to start and stay with it. There's so many things. I will have to design certain approaches for certain students as opposed to other students to keep them focused. I think oftentimes when my students run into a problem, they will quit and start on something else, or go to a much more comfortable sort of subject, or a comfortable approach to projects. So that's one of my challenges, is keeping students focused and helping them grow rather than just stay comfortable. How do students respond to projects? I feel like I've touched on that. They will either get really immersed in a project and love it and become really proud of it, or it can often spark some behaviors. Setting 4, I think we're going to run into that regardless. This particular student that I was thinking of, at first he was very unsure of himself. I could see it in his body language and his language. He would withdraw quite a bit until I'd keep subtly feeding in inspiration here and there, and I could see his creativity kind of snowball and grow. Took a little effort on my behalf, but really enjoyed it. What advice would I give to teachers interested in trying PBL? Try it. Just go for it. Don't overthink it. Just jump in. And a lot of what works with the projects is that these students really start to take control of it, and they own, like I said, they own their education, and it becomes a part of them. And I think that's really important when it comes to learning and going to school. They have to feel like they belong there. How is this different than a traditional classroom? The Makerspace is like a deconstructed classroom, where normally a student goes to their classroom and you have their reading and you have their math and their social studies and do these problems, and not right now. And read this paragraph and we'll discuss this topic. This is like, take all that stuff you've learned already and now apply it. You have this toolkit, now let's use those tools, and how can we use them and sharpen them and become better better students, better learners, better teachers. Voila.